The reason most people never reach their full potential isn't because they lack talent, intelligence, or opportunity. It's because they refuse to face the truth about success. The truth is uncomfortable. The truth isn't wrapped in feel-good quotes or easy shortcuts. Let me tell you something, success isn't about luck. It's not about waiting for the right time, the right connections, or the right circumstances. Success is about how you think and what you tolerate. What if I told you that everything you've been taught about success is the very thing holding you back? You've been told to wait your turn, to be patient, to trust that if you work hard, the rewards will come. But look around, how many people do you know who worked their whole lives and still never got anywhere? Hard work alone isn't the answer. It's about what you do with that work. It's about the mindset behind the effort. The difference between those who win and those who stay stuck is simple. The winners refuse to be defeated. The losers give themselves permission to quit. Which one are you? Have you ever started something with fire only to let fear smother it? You were excited, determined. But then doubt crept in. The moment things got hard, you started second-guessing yourself. Maybe you told yourself, I'll try again later, or maybe this isn't for me. That's how most people live their entire lives, waiting for a perfect moment that never comes. Success isn't a lightning strike, it's a slow burning fire that only dies when you stop fueling it. Most people fail not because they aren't capable, but because they refuse to push past the moment when it gets tough. The first rejection, the first failure, the first obstacle, that's where most people stop. But the ones who make it, they're the ones who push through the pain. They don't see failure as a stop sign, they see it as a test. And every time they pass that test, they get stronger. The real question is, how many times are you willing to get back up? Because the only way to truly fail is to stop trying. By the time this is over, you won't just understand what makes someone unstoppable, you'll be it. Because the truth is, the world doesn't reward the most talented, the smartest, or the most prepared. It rewards the ones who refuse to back down. The ones who take hit after hit and still keep moving forward. Think of the legends, athletes, entrepreneurs, visionaries. They don't quit. They adapt, they endure, they win. They understand that success isn't about having an easy road, it's about mastering the road you're on. They don't waste time blaming circumstances or waiting for permission. They don't let fear control them. They make a decision and they commit to it. And now it's your turn. The mindset you choose will determine the life you live. You can stay where you are, or you can decide right now that nothing will stop you. Because the moment you become unstoppable in your mind, you become unstoppable in your life. The reason most people never reach their full potential is because they lack talent. It's not because they don't have the right connections or the right opportunities. It's because they keep negotiating with themselves. Every time you let yourself off the hook, every time you say, just this once, or I'll do it later, you're setting fire to your own progress. Success isn't lost in some dramatic, earth-shattering moment. It dies quietly in those small, seemingly harmless decisions, hitting snooze instead of getting up, skipping the workout instead of pushing through, choosing distractions over discipline. One compromise leads to another, and before you know it, quitting becomes your default setting. So let me ask you, how many times have you let yourself off the hook and regretted it later? How many times have you given in to comfort only to feel the sting of wasted potential? Every time you negotiate with yourself, you're training your mind to settle. And settling. That's the enemy of success. There is one unshakable rule that separates the winners from the quitters. Never negotiate with yourself. When you say you're going to do something, you do it. No deals. No delays. No excuses. Winners and quitters don't live in different worlds. They wake up in the same reality, face the same challenges, feel the same doubts. But there's one key difference winners act despite how they feel. Quitters wait until they feel like it. Your emotions are like waves, constantly shifting. One day you're motivated, the next you're tired, the next you're full of doubt. But winners, they don't wait for motivation. They build habits like concrete, unshakable, immovable. So let me challenge you right now. If success is non-negotiable, why do you keep making deals with your weakness? Why do you keep letting your feelings dictate your actions? The truth is, winners show up whether they feel like it or not. Quitters look for an easy way out. And the more you give in, the more you train your mind to quit. If you want to win, stop making choices based on how you feel in the moment. Base them on a standard you set for yourself, one that does not change no matter what. Discipline is not a personality trait. It's a system, a formula. And if you follow it, you'll never have to rely on motivation again. Step one, decide once, that's it. You don't wake up every day wondering if you're going to take action. You decide in advance and you stick to it. No second guessing, no rethinking, not maybe, not tomorrow, not just this once. No negotiation. Step two, remove the option to back out. Treat your commitments like a locked vault. Once closed, there's no key. Winners don't waste time debating whether they should do what they already committed to. They just do it. Step 3, make discipline your identity. If you see yourself as someone who always follows through, quitting won't even be an option. You don't wait for motivation because you've trained yourself to show up regardless. This is how you kill self-negotiation for good. The moment you meet the option to quit, you win. Period. How many times have you said, I'll start Monday? But Monday came and went. And then another. And another. Before you knew it, weeks turned into months and your goals became distant fantasies. You had every intention to start, but somehow you always found a reason to push it back. Sound familiar? That's not coincidence, that's sabotage. Your brain is wired to keep you comfortable, not successful. That's why the first voice you hear in the morning isn't, let's go crush it. It's let's snooze. Your mind doesn't care about greatness, it cares about survival, and to your brain, discipline feels like a threat. Change feels risky. Pushing through discomfort feels dangerous, so it feeds you lies we feel light later. It's not the right time. We can afford one more break. But here's the truth, your mind is your battlefield. If you're not fighting for control, you've already lost. Every time you give in to hesitation, every time you listen to that inner voice telling you to take it easy, you're training yourself to quit. That's why discipline isn't about feeling ready, it's about overriding the mental tricks that keep you stuck. You have to recognize the pattern. The moment you feel that pull to delay, that's when you must act. Because the longer you wait, the deeper the excuse buries itself. So stop negotiating. Stop waiting for motivation. The moment hesitation creeps in, shut it down and move. Winners don't wait. Winners don't give their minds a chance to argue. Your mind will fight you. Fight back harder. Every excuse you make today is debt you'll have to pay tomorrow. And the interest is brutal. One excuse seems harmless. One skipped workout, one missed deadline, one day of procrastination. But what happens next? One becomes two. Two becomes a habit. A habit becomes your character. Before you know it, you've built a life around avoiding hard things and paid the price in lost time, missed opportunities, and stagnant potential. Every time you break your word to yourself, you make it easier to quit. But every time you follow through, you make discipline your default. Think about that. Every action is a vote either for the person you want to become or the person you're trying to leave behind. So let me ask you, how many opportunities have you lost not because you weren't ready, but because you kept pushing back your own potential? How many doors stayed closed because you weren't consistent enough to knock hard enough? Success doesn't slip away in big, dramatic failures. It erodes in the small moments when you choose comfort over commitment. And the worst part, when you finally realize what you lost, it's too late to get it back. So what will you choose? Discipline or regret? Because there's no middle ground. Discipline isn't just about working hard, it's about winning the war in your mind. You don't need more motivation. You need a system, a battle plan, a strategy to make discipline you are not just something you do when it's convenient. Here's how you do it, decide once. Stop making discipline a daily decision. Winners don't wake up and decide if they'll show up. They already committed. They act without hesitation. The moment you remove the option to quit, you win. Make it non-negotiable. Discipline isn't about feelings, it's about standards. You don't question if you'll show up. You show up. You don't negotiate with weakness, you do the work. Stack small wins. Discipline is like interest, it compounds over time. The small wins today create massive payoffs later. Every time you follow through, you build mental armor. You make yourself unshakable. Visualize the result. Close your eyes and imagine what if for 1 year you never back down on yourself. Where would you be? What would your life look like? That future isn't a dream, it's a decision. Because success isn't a skill, it's a choice. You start strong, you're motivated. You tell yourself this time it's different. And for a while you're on fire. But then something shifts. The energy fades, the excitement dulls. And before you know, back where you started. Sound familiar? Why do you think New Year's resolutions fail? Is it because people suddenly stop wanting success, or because they never learn how to keep going when the excitement fades? Here's the brutal truth, you don't fail because you lack potential. You fail because you rely on motivation, a fleeting emotion that disappears the moment things get hard. Motivation gives you a high. That's dopamine, the feel-good chemical that makes starting something new exciting. But here's the problem, dopamine fades. And when it does, most people quit. Think about the last time you started something strong but never finished. Was it really a lack of ability? Or was it just the moment when motivation wore off and you didn't know how to push through? Motivation is what gets you started. Discipline is what keeps you moving. But the real game changer? Non-negotiation. When quitting isn't an option, when skipping a workout or slacking off isn't even a thought, that's when you become unstoppable. If you want to break free from inconsistency, you need to stop thinking like an amateur and start thinking like a champion. Think about a world-class athlete. Do you think they wake up every morning feeling like training? No, but they train anyway. Why? Because their commitment isn't based on how they feel, it's based on who they are. Most people are slaves to their emotions. If they don't feel like it, they don't do it. But winners move whether they feel like it or not. Because their actions aren't dictated by emotions. They're dictated by decisions. Here's your challenge. What if quitting was never an option? What if skipping a workout, slacking off, or breaking your word was simply not part of your identity? What if your standard was showing up no matter what? Stop treating success like something you hope for. Lock it in. Commit like your life depends on it, because in many ways it does. Want to eliminate inconsistency? Make your decisions in advance. If you wait until the moment, you negotiate with yourself. Decide ahead of time. Don't leave room for debate. Set a schedule and follow it no matter what. Whether you feel like it or not is irrelevant. The decision has already been made. The highest performers don't wake up and decide if they'll train. They train because it's who they are. They don't wake up and ask, should I work today? They work because it's their standard. This is the mindset you need. The no mindset mindset. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't. Winners don't give themselves an option to quit. They don't ask, should I do it today? They already know the answer. Yes, no matter what. If you truly want to break the cycle of inconsistency, you must stop giving yourself an easy way out. Burn the escape routes. Lock in your standards so tightly that backing down is ever even a consideration. Imagine the future version of you, the one who never quits, never negotiates, never backs down. The one who executes without hesitation. The one who is relentless, unstoppable, disciplined to the core. Now decide. Will you become them? Success doesn't belong to those one, it belongs to those who execute relentlessly. Every person on this planet has dreams, but only a fraction ever turn them into reality. Why? Because most people live in wishful thinking, hoping that someday, somehow, success will just fall into their lap. But here's the truth, hope is not a strategy. Execution is. Every action you take or don't take is a vote for the person you become. Every skipped workout, every delayed decision, every excuse is a vote for failure. But every disciplined action, every push forward, every moment you refuse to quit, that's a vote for the unstoppable version of you. The question is, which version are you building with your daily choices? You don't become unstoppable by hoping for it. You become unstoppable by becoming it. That means no more waiting for the perfect time, no more wishing things were easier. The only way forward is action. And the secret, start stacking small wins. Stop chasing massive overnight changes. Do something today, something small that proves to yourself that you're in control. Momentum is built in inches before it becomes miles. Winners don't wait for motivation, they create it through movement. They don't talk about what they wish they could do, they do it. Your future self is watching the choices you make today. The question is, will they be proud or disappointed? Weakness doesn't start in your body, it starts in your mind. And it shows up in the words you use every single day. You want to know the difference between people who dominate life and those who stay stuck. It's in their language. Listen to yourself. Are you feeding your power or your excuses? I'll try. No. Either do it or don't. I hope. No, make it happen. Maybe. No. Commit or walk away. Unstoppable people don't speak in uncertainties. They don't try their way to success. They decide and then they execute. Period. Every time you let weak language slip into your mindset, you reinforce hesitation, doubt, and failure. If you want to become relentless, you must think, speak, and act like it. No excuses. No hesitation. No negotiation. The moment you stop giving yourself options to quit, you'll realize just how powerful you really are. Confidence isn't something you wait for, it's something you create. Most people sit around hoping that one day they'll finally feel confident enough to take action. But here's the truth, action creates confidence, not the other way around. How many opportunities have you missed because you were waiting to feel ready? How many times did you sit back while someone with no more talent or ability than you stepped up and took the shot? Confidence doesn't come from thinking about it. Confidence comes from doing. You don't feel confident in an act, you act, and confidence follows. The more you show up, push forward, and refuse to negotiate with your own fears, the more unshakable you become. What if you stopped waiting for permission and just owned your power? What if you stopped doubting and just stepped into it? The world doesn't give confidence to people who wait, it rewards those who move. The moment you stop negotiating with yourself, your life will never be the same. The unstoppable version of you isn't some distant dream, it's already inside you. You already have what it takes. Now prove it to yourself. You've heard it, you felt it. Now it's time to live it. This isn't about tomorrow, this isn't about thinking about change. This is about proving it starting now though. The next 24 hours are your test. No self-negotiation, no hesitation, no I'll start later. The mission, pick one area of your life and make a non-negotiable decision. Wake up when you said you would. Hit the gym no matter how you feel. Execute the plan, no excuses. Make the call, start the project, take the step, no doubt. Because let's be real, if you don't do it now, you won't do it later. Later is a lie. Later is the graveyard where dreams go to die. You don't need another pep talk. You need action. Your excuses are not special. Your discipline is what sets you apart. Discipline is the line between those who dream and those who DO. Between those who stay the same and those who break through. So here's your challenge. Pick one thing, one area, one action, and move now and out. Not when you feel ready. Not when it's convenient. Not when the mood is right. Now out. Imagine your life 5 years from now. Do you want to be stronger or stuck? The choice is yours. If you stay the same, where will you be? How many dreams will be left undone? How much time will you have wasted talking instead of doing? Regret is forever. It's waking up one day realizing you settled. Discipline is temporary. It's pushing past the moment, knowing you're getting stronger. One will break you. One will build you. Which one are you choosing? If you do nothing, nothing changes. But if you commit, everything changes. The choice is simple: live in the pain of regret or fight through the pain of discipline. One destroys you. The other transforms you. Say it with me: I do not negotiate with myself. I do not hesitate. I do not quit. I am unstoppable. This is the defining moment between a life of mediocrity and a life of power. You already have the power. Now, ODUNIT, decide, are you unstoppable or just pretending?